So it was dark this morning. I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking about how much my experience with my friend recently, the whole weird, wild ass, violently scary narcissism that she's experiencing with her partner, and how it shed light in my life when I had my window, my not window, I keep saying window, shattering experience, but it wasn't a window, it was a piece of glass in the fridge, and the reason I keep saying window is I connected the dots. There was an incident when I was young. I was probably about 11 or 12 years old, and I was outside, and I was throwing a ball against my house, which was brick, and it was a sun porch. It had these windows, glass windows. Man, I threw that pitch, and it went directly through the window, and my mother was home, who was my narcissist, and I'm like, the fear level, it was as if I had shot my brother dead accidentally. That is what the fear level right at that moment. Because I'm like, she's gonna flip out and lose it on me, which interestingly enough, she didn't. I was shocked because I had to immediately tell her. I couldn't just like skip off and act like nothing had happened. I don't think my brother was around, and it's not like I could have blamed him anyway. I never would have dared lie about anything like, oh, my brother did. I don't know why the youngest child oftentimes gets when I side note, Tom of Surviving Narcissism or Narcissist Survivor, whichever one he is, said that he took a poll and overwhelmingly it's the oldest child that's scapegoated and the younger child is the golden child. Well, that was the opposite for me and for my kids. So I was like, what? Anyway, but I was terrified. I broke this window. So I think when I shattered that glass the other day, I think that my mind shuttled instantly to that moment. Because I kept calling it a window. I kept saying, I broke the window. I broke the window. Isn't that weird? I mean, we're talking 50 years later, 45 years later, I'm going, the window. It was not a window, Karen. You broke a piece of glass in the fridge while it was in the sink. I mean, it wasn't even like... So, yeah, but the weird part was my mom did not flip out on me that time. I do not know why she didn't. I think that her menstrual cycle must have been at the right time because she had, and I say that and I'm hoping that women won't be like, yeah, right, bitch, what are you talking about, bitch? Well, my mom had extreme, oh God, I can't remember what it's called. She could not have a baby. Endometriosis. She couldn't carry to term. I don't know if she was probably pregnant many times, but didn't carry to term. But the pregnancy tests back then were not sensitive enough until you were certain far enough along, and she never got far enough along to have a positive pregnancy test. So in her mind, she never got pregnant. I think she got pregnant many times and miscarried, and I think that was part of her mental disturbance was her estrogen dominance. But that aside, she didn't flip out on me that time, just like the one time I thought they were going to flip out on me when they didn't, and I was terrified out of my mind. I was home alone. My parents pulled up from work because they worked together. And it was the evening. It must have been summer because I didn't have a coat on. I was playing with them. I was making a mud pie in this container. And I had this thought. And when they pulled in, I looked at myself and I was covered with mud. And I thought, I'm going to get the living shit whipped out of me. And then nothing happened. She must have been at an okay point in her cycle because she got out of the car and she was like, just go in the sun porch and meet me at the bottom of the stair, like meet me in the laundry room. Because we had an entrance that went down to the laundry room. She went in the house the regular way, changed her clothes, went downstairs, and helped me get out of my muddy clothes and rinsed them out in the sink and put them in the washer. Nothing happened. I was like, wow. I mean, I thought that was it. I was fucking dead. See, I have almost no memories of my childhood, but those two incidences stick out because she didn't flip out. But I remember, so I keep thinking, now what was my point about this whole story? Being around, the whole plate, going to the plate glass, it's a plate glass that came out of the fridge, broke. Having been exposed to my friend recently with the narcissistic thing, without having had this whole past month happen, I do not believe that the breaking of the glass incident would have been so significant for me. I feel like it was a life-changing event for me and my husband and our relationship, because I will stop. Now I recognize that inordinate amount of instant fear and self-hatred and what's Lenny going to think about, that was the codependent what's left of it in me. And I would not have known that that's what that was had I not been observing my friend recently. So thank God that I met this person and started observing this in her, that I could help her, and then realize, hey, I'm still doing it over here in this area. It's still happening to me. Not often, but still enough, and it's still interfering enough in my relationship with Lenny, although he doesn't even realize it, that we could actually be closer, because we're close. We can be closer now that I realize I'm doing this. And I think he's a little codependent too. And I think that's how we wound up with the car in the backyard, because he wanted to stop. He wanted to provide. My daughter flipped out, I need a car right now. And she started stomping her feet, and he ran down the street and bought her a car. It's sitting in the backyard still. It's been 9 years. Because it needed a sensor, and he just couldn't get to it and whatever. His codependent thinking, where he overcompensates, overworks, overprovides, over, until he is exhausted. So I think that this is going to open a door for us to look at ourselves a little bit closer, be more vulnerable with each other, and be like, hey man, I thought you were really mad about this thing. Let me tell you about it. And he'll be like, no, it's silly. And then we laugh. So I think that I've come to a new chapter in my life, and I want to give a shout out to moms. Sheena, because of you and your consistent support, you remind me of Dave in the way that you're like, I could tell you things, and it would just be like, it'll be mind-blowing things, and you're just like, oh, okay, it's fine. And Scott, you too, man. The truth. You're too kind. I'll be like, look, I'm this way and that. I'm like, no, you're being too hard on yourself, Karen. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I mean, I used to be, but not anymore. I understand what my flaws are. I've always knew what my flaws were. I was trying to explain them, and nobody wanted to hear why. And it's like, can you just, no, it's all about you. I get it, but I'm just trying to say that if you understood why, then it wouldn't upset you as much when I did that, and then maybe I could work on me, and then you could work on you. But they didn't see it that way. Maybe I didn't explain it the right way, and they always just kept thinking, you're always making everything about you. It's like, no, I'm making everything about I think what I'm doing is making everything about a psychological journey to wellness for everyone around me, but they don't realize that's what I'm trying to do, and then they're just like, why do you worry about all this? And you're just, why do you gotta, I don't know, look, I don't know. But at any rate, thank you to the people that let me descend into the flip out stage, and then you just sit there and just still talk to me like I'm not flipping out. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm really being really stupid, aren't I? And then we all laugh together about it. And it's like, but it's neat. I feel safe with you both, you two, my two friends. Deborah Allen, you're out there always giving me kudos, man. You're always just giving me the bump, like, you're cool, you're okay, no matter what, man, you're all right. And thank you. Jade, Rains, I mean, every now and then you like give it a little like, hoo, but, and Connie V, boop, boop, and God, there's more of you. Anytime y'all just be like, yay, cool, we understand, thank you. Frankie B. Blood, thank you. Now I'm thinking like, God, I miss people, and now I feel bad because I've missed some of your names. I'm like, oh, the codependent in me is like, oh, I want to tell everybody, you know who you are. If you commented and been like, hey, you're cool, I understand it, or smiled or said thanks, I'm talking about you. Thank you for letting me walk out my psychological healing on YouTube. And it could be very dangerous. I realize that. Because, you tell what your vulnerabilities are, and then they can come after you and use them against you. But I don't have any active narcissists on my channel. If they are there, they're not commenting. So it's cool. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for helping me. I never thought I'd uncover this. I never thought that I would see that emotional reaction of codependency in me. I didn't think I'd ever see it the way I'm seeing it and recognizing it, and it makes me like giddy inside. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna be able to. Am I gonna be able to get over this? Am I gonna be able to do it?